He's probably the first superstar of sports. Although born with the name George, he was better known to fans as the Sultan of Swat or the Bambino, or more simply as just Babe. Scott has the report.
He was, the biggest star in baseball. He was the biggest star in New York. He kind of was the emblem for the roaring 20s of America. The whole country embraced him for the exuberance with which he lived, the dynamic, the spirit that he had.
Babe Ruth was big news back in the early days of baseball, and not just on the field. He was in movies, in comic books. There was even Babe Ruth underwear. A candy bar believed to be named after him is still popular today, the Baby Ruth. These are just some of the fascinating exhibits you'll see here at the Babe Ruth Birthplace Museum. This is the actual building where the Babe was born.
Thousands of visitors from all around the world come every year because Ruth is not just important to America, but he is important to the game of baseball wherever it's played. He established all of the slugging records in baseball. Back when he was coming on as a home run hitter, he would frequently out-homer what entire teams were able to put up in a single year. And he also was an all-star caliber pitcher, so there is no other player in history who has ever done that.
It's thrilling to get a glimpse into not just the Babe's professional career, but his personal life as well.
And this is Babe Ruth's grandparents' bedroom. And Babe's mother came up here and gave birth to Babe, but also to 7 other kids, because back in 1895, and at that time frame, that's what Americans did. They gave birth at home.
Don't let the dainty room and baby picture fool you. George Herman Ruth was born into a gritty life. His parents ran a saloon, and young George ran kinda wild. When he was just 7, his parents were forced to send him to a school for problem kids.
The state was threatening them and saying, we're going to make him a ward of the state, take him away from you. So they put him in St. Mary's, which was run by a group of Catholic brothers, and it was known for discipline. You get a little bit of an education as well.
Fortunately, St. Mary's also was known for its baseball team.
This is Babe Ruth's catcher's mitt from St. Mary's Industrial School.
He was scouted for the Orioles, a minor league team back then. Here's his rookie baseball card, now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The guy next to him is Jack Dunn, the owner of the Baltimore Orioles. George was so young that in order to hire him, Dunn had to become George's legal guardian.
They go to spring training, and the Baltimore Sun starts referring to George Ruth as Jack Dunn's baby. And by May of that year, it had been shortened to Babe Ruth.
Soon, fans could tune into radio broadcasts of the Babe pitching for the Boston Red Sox. But he was even more valuable as a slugger. He moved on to the championship Yankees and stardom. But he always made time for his fans, especially young ones.
There are many stories about the Babe coming home from Yankee Stadium after a game, and he would stop the car if he saw a game of a ball going on and get out and play with the kids because he just was like that.
Babe Ruth had a heart as big as Yankee Stadium. Mike told me the story of Babe's promise to a kid dying of a rare disease. It was a promise that seems to have helped save the young fan's life.
Over here, you see a bunch of baseballs, all signed by Babe Ruth, but the one second in from the left is the ball that Babe Ruth signed, and he made the prediction that he would hit a homer for little Johnny Sylvester in the 1926 World Series, and this is the ball where he writes the prediction. On the side of the ball, he writes, I'll knock a homer in Wednesday's game for you. And he hit 3. And the boy listens to the game on the radio, and he gets better.
In the 1932 World Series, Ruth hit one of the most famous home runs in history, the called shot. The Yankees were playing in Chicago. The Cub fans and even the players were booing the Bambino.
I'll never forget it. It was a tough series. Both clubs riding each other, doing everything to get each other's goat. Well, after this one.
After 2 strikes, Ruth says he wanted to send a message.
And at that point, he points.
You can barely see him pointing in this picture from a spectator. Legend has it, he was showing just where he was going to send the ball.
But nevertheless, the next pitch comes in, it is low and away, and Ruth goes down and gets it and hits the longest home run in the history of Wrigley Field.
Some people don't believe he was really calling the shot. They claim he was pointing at something else. But Ruth would always say he pointed to the American flag, and that's where he hit the home run. Do you think he called the shot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he called it. He is telling everybody that something big is going to happen, and it did.
For Teen Kids News, I'm Scott.